Okay, we are finally doing it. My playthrough of Resident Evil 8. I initially held off on this, this would have been a perfect Halloween game, but to be quite honest, I was sick of this game because I played it an ungodly amount of times when this first came out. And was a little burnt out, honestly. I didn't really want to see this again, but I also figured winter would be a great time to play this game, which it is winter now. So I figured this is as good a time as any. So let us do a new game. This is also the first time I've done a new game in a very long time. I usually do New Game Plus. So let's go ahead and do this.
Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence, the bushes empty. Yet determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free from Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine and under branch, and into the forest deep. Feeling strange eyes upon her, the girl recalled Mother's scary bedtime tales, and her throat became bone dry. Then the Bat Lord appeared. He greeted her warmly and bit his own wing. "Come, child, quench your thirst," he said. So she drank the thick, dark blood and smiled with joy. Passing through the graveyard, menacing storm clouds loomed, and the air turned bitingly cold. The girl was shivering in her thin clothes. Then a dark weaver appeared, and with a click of his fingers, crafted mist into a beautiful dress. "Come, child, warm yourself," he coaxed. So she clothed herself and smiled with joy. Across waters deep and ominous she went, hoping a boat she found would carry her home. But hunger's grip tightened and her heart grew heavy. Then the Fish King appeared and offered one of his many fins. "Come, child, eat your fill." So the girl ate and smiled with joy once more. Continuing on, she soon entered the forest's dark heart. Then an iron steed appeared, bearing a beautiful golden gear. The creature said nothing as the girl approached and snatched what she thought was another gift. The horse grew angry and summoned the other monsters. Terror filled the girl's heart as the wild wind rose around the beasts. Suddenly, a witch appeared, dark yet regal. "Gifts we gave, but more you took," she snarled. "So more in turn is due." In a blink, the girl was trapped inside a mirror. There. She's asleep.
What is with the creepy story? She's only 6 months old.
Woman at the store said it was traditional. A local tale. Besides, Rose doesn't seem to mind.
Because she doesn't understand it. Thank God. We moved here so that she wouldn't have to deal with any of that, remember?
There's nothing wrong with my memory. You're just being paranoid.
It's not... Never mind. I'm sorry. But I'm not paranoid. I'm just cautious.
Then, go cautiously take your daughter to bed. I'll finish dinner.
It's okay, Rose. Your mother doesn't want to remember it. I can't blame her.
Man, that is a big fat baby.
Did you say something?
Nothing. I'll put her down.
So, I platinumed all of Resident Evil 7 right before this game came out. And I gotta say, one of the best things that this game did was allow you to skip scenes like that, because in 7 you wouldn't have been able to. So we're just gonna kind of examine the house a little bit first. I would like to point something out, though. Something that I only realized this time through. Hold on. I need to see if I can't get a good view of Mia.
Don't get too close to me when I'm cooking, babe.
Of course, she's not going to let me do it. But anyway, I realized this time that Mia looked really familiar. You know, you couldn't really get a good look at her head. Or her face, I guess, not her head. In,
Mia makes everything by hand, so this stuff keeps piling up.
Resident Evil 7. Because she was kind of dirty and, like, beat up. But I realized, like, she looks really familiar in this game. And, wait, there's kind of a picture of her head. She has the same face model as Paz from Metal Gear Solid 5, which is insane to me. Like, that's crazy. I guess I could have just looked at this picture up close. Rose's half-birthday.
Her birthday will be here before we know it.
They grow up fast. Let's just enjoy it while we can.
There's a lot of stuff to look at in here. So I'm just gonna kind of not really breeze through, but I'm gonna not quite look
My
at
taste in
everything.
music's definitely improved over the years.
You mean mine has?
Wait a minute, what? Miss D and wait a minute. You can't do that. That seems like a spoiler. Miss D.
Mom got you another new book?
Yeah, this is one of those things that, honestly, one of my least favorite games was Uncharted 4, and Uncharted 4 started very similarly to this. But the fact that you're in first person is infinitely better, and it makes you feel more like Ethan. And this section is 1,000 times better than the one in Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4, that section just felt very up its own ass, like most of that game. But this, I think, was really well done. Again, mostly because you're in first person and you actually get to relate to this character.
There. It's like I said to your mom. That book's too scary for you.
Yeah, so let's go read another scary book while we're up here. Can I go in this room? I don't remember. Yes, I can. There's not really much in here. I mean, again, it gives you some flavor text, lets you see what exactly has been going on since Resident Evil 7, which is nice to know. You know, it's not really information that you get anywhere else in the game.
Why do I even keep this around? I should get rid of it someday.
I completely agree, and I do think that's very weird that you have that, Ethan.
Gotta do a deep clean before Rose starts walking around.
So, George Trevor, I think that's very strange that they have a book by George Trevor. Either that means Mia is way more connected than we think, or George Trevor somehow was like a best-selling author. Those are the only two things that I feel like it's way more likely that Mia is more connected to the overall Resident Evil story than we think. Curtain closes on the Dulvey gas incident. The committee completed their investigation on the 18th into the Dulvey toxic gas leak in Louisiana in 2017. They concluded the deaths were caused by a leak of natural gas that had built up in the mudrock under the area. Jack Baker and his family, who were exposed to the gas, perished. Ethan Winters and his wife were also believed to have been nearby, but their current whereabouts are unknown. The entire area has been closed off by officials who believe it will be at least 10 years before the area is hospitable again.
Everyone's forgotten about this already.
But not you, Ethan. Or me. I always think about Resident Evil 7. It's a good game. Obviously, it probably would have been quicker to go put Rose down and then walk around, but whatever.
Your mama and I love this song so much.
Again, it lets you get connected to Rose. It's a good opening. Big fat baby.
Almost there, honey.
There's a kind of like, I don't know what you would call it, like a dossier almost about the events of Resident Evil 7 that I might do like a separate like little video on, like a part 1.5 or something like that. It could be interesting because it does give you some backstory, reminds you about the the story of 7, but it also kind of fills in some gaps.
Don't you worry. I'll be right downstairs. Daddy won't let those weird fairy tale monsters get you.
You're just gonna let real monsters get you? I mean, what? So now we'll be a little bit quicker. There's a trophy for kicking this ball into the other room that took me way too long to do. That was one of the harder trophies. It's not that hard, but it's still going to take you a couple tries, because the ball just keeps getting stuck in areas where you can't retrieve it. Mia and I had another fight. I accidentally mentioned what happened 3 years ago and she blew up at me. We finally settled down in our new life in Europe and can bring Rose up properly. But I still feel like a part of me is trapped in that hellhole back in Louisiana. I know Mia doesn't like to talk about it, but can we really just forget everything and pretend it didn't happen? Shouldn't we face what happened there so we can live our lives with Rose without it hanging over our heads? We owe her that much at least. I know Mia knows this too. She wouldn't have exploded like that at the hospital if she didn't care. I think I missed this entire room the very first time I played this. Results for additional fungal pathogen tests will be provided by BSAA. So that's just kind of how
Rose is fine.
That's just kind of how Rose is doing. We got Rose's favorite toy. And here's another thing. This one I think is weirder than the other one. That Joseph Kendo is Robert Kendo's brother, the gun shop owner of Resident Evil 2. Again, just kind of weird. It either makes... It's a cute little reference, but it makes the world feel too small. Like, why does Ethan have a book by the brother of the guy from Resident Evil 2 and 3? Also, gotta love how they just hide Ethan's face no matter what. Like, there's no reason for that. It's very silly. All potential pictures of Ethan have his face hidden.
I wish it could stay like this forever.
No, look at the little monkey. I mean, that looks like a real picture. This one on the end here looks like a real picture. Just goes to show how good the RE engine looks. Like, man, oh man. Damn good looking game. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. I think we could just go. Because, yeah, once you put Rose down and you go anywhere near Mia, the next scene starts. Which, you don't necessarily want. I wish it would be like, press X to confirm that you want to, enter into the new area or into this next scene. Man, I think we're good. That's alright.
Is she okay?
Sleeping like a baby. That smells good. What's that?
Oh, hands off, mister. It's churba de legume. It's a local recipe.
Wow, you've gone full native, haven't you?
Local wine, too. But if you're gonna keep sulking all evening, maybe you shouldn't have any. You really have to stop worrying.
It's just finding you in Louisiana, the pregnancy, Chris moving us here, military training, it all happened so fast, you know?
Well, at least we're all together. You, me, Rose. Now, everything's gonna
Seriously? Think we can just forget about what happened in Louisiana?
It happened so long ago. I don't understand why you are so...
Mia! Get down! Mia! Mia! Oh, God! What the hell?
Sorry, Ethan.
No! What? Why?
God, he looks so good in this game.
Go on, move!
All clear.
Rose?
What the hell are you doing with my daughter?
Package secure, sir. Take him away.
I said get your hands off her!
Ethan, no.
Rose.
Get him out of here.
Hey, Doc.
Hello, Mr. Winters. I've got your daughter's results back, and I'd like you to come in to talk about them. How about next Thursday, 4 o'clock?
No problem. We'll be there. That was the doc. She'll see us next week. Hey, now. Think positively, all right? We talked about this.
I know. We hardly talk about anything else. I keep telling you, it's not Rose that I'm worried about.
Well, then what are you worried about? Look, she's gonna be fine. I just know it. What else matters?
We matter, Ethan! You matter! You just
Mia, what are you talking about? Is there something you're not telling me? Come on, talk to me. Damn it. I have to take this.
Would love to know what Ethan does for a living. I think in 7 they say he's like a computer guy. Like an IT guy, but I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Jesus.
About damn time. What's your status? Is the package safe?
What are you talking about? Where's Chris Redfield? And Rose?
Who is this? This is a secure channel. You are not authorized to phone calls.
Fuck. What the hell happened here?
So yeah, Chris saw a significant glow up in this game. My God, the wildest thing about it is that it's the same exact facial model as in Resident Evil 7. They just modified him to look like an older version of Resident Evil 6 Chris, which is great. It looks great in this game. Mission objectives: eliminate target, recover body, secure Rosemary Winters and Ethan Winters. Move the 2 Winterses to Site C for further investigation. At least 2 transport officers to accompany them. And Jeff Shine, who played Carlos in Resident Evil 3 Remake, is voicing him this time. I mean, he's no Roger Craig Smith, but, you know, I think he does a pretty good job. This, however, I was talking about how it was so great that you could skip things in the beginning of this game. You cannot skip this, nor can you, like, break the sequence to, like, start running or anything like that, which is kind of shitty. But it's still not nearly as obnoxious as it is in Resident Evil 7. My God. Here's the first instance of Ethan's hands just getting fucked up. Oh, it's the worst. That was one of those things that you just know is going to become a joke, like the first time you're playing something, where you're like, Ethan literally cannot stop getting his hands cut or, you know, hurt in some way. You just know that's going to become a running joke online. It's just an annoying noise. It's not even scary. So I would basically consider this game a remake of Resident Evil 4, which is funny because they're apparently also remaking Resident Evil 4. But there are a lot of similarities to Resident Evil 4. And I would say that this intro is maybe a little bit stronger than the intro in Resident Evil 4. I just mean this bit is better than, you know, walking up to the house. Also just goes to show just how much the series has changed since then. Take the rope, use it as a weapon, tie a knife to it, and start spinning it around. I will say this flashlight annoys the fuck out of me, because I'm looking straight ahead now. But for whatever reason, Ethan's got it pointed directly down to the ground. I just wish that it was equipped to your hand, like a separate item, and that you could actually choose what to look at, instead of, you know, a curated little thing here of what the game wants you to see, which is apparently the ground. So I'm not quite sure about that one. I think they maybe want you looking down so that they can kind of try and scare you with some things, but nothing runs at you in this part. It's a bit strange. Let's see, what do we got here? We got some sort of modern art. Couldn't tell you. I don't know who that's a picture of. Yeah, and this part's kind of annoying because you have to come down here and you have to, like, open this up in order to get the next thing to trigger. So, you know, this is the part that I kind of wish you could just skip through. Also, that sound effect has always sounded incredibly low quality to me. Like, it just sounds like a sound effect from, like, the early 2000s. I don't know what that's about. There are quite a lot of, like, stock sound effects in this game, which I wasn't a huge fan of. Like, pots breaking is, like, just clearly a stock sound effect. Stuff like that. Pretty wild. But again, that doesn't, like, affect my enjoyment of the game. It's a little stock sound effect. Deadly Premonition is one of my favorite games. That game is, like, stock sound effect the game. I already opened that. At least now they finally let you run. Also, I think this is one of the most brave things that this game does, and I really enjoy, is that it, for the most part, takes place during the day. Which I think is absolutely insane. It's not usually what you would assume for a game like this.
Where the hell am I?
Also, this is just... what a great looking game. I love this location, too. I'm happy to be playing this. You know, I said I was burnt out, but I do really enjoy this game. This was a bright spot in 2021. Poor horse died. That seems like a real Kojima thing. Of just like... I know, I guess there are other horses in the game. I was going to say, just putting
Maybe they're out?
a dead horse in the game for no good reason. Like, how much money that would cost just to make that horse model. Just to put it in that one area. Yeah, it doesn't really look like you can do much here. Oh, what's this? Oh, I guess we'll have to come back to that. So we got anything in here? Yeah, these are all places that we'll have to come back to later. Uh-oh, there's a guy. It's a very scary guy. His name's Richard Scarry. He will go on to write many books. Yeah, I think at this point, there's probably not really any point in, like, looking around. At least that's what I'd say. I could have just walked around there, right? That's where I have to go, actually. So, never mind.